All right. So I missed my first official video by a landslide. I think it's been like 2 weeks now since I said I was initially going to start daily uploading. And I'm not gonna lie, I did record an episode, or call it that, a video. And it just absolutely fucking took way too long for me to edit. I wanted it to be, pretty high quality, well, low, as low quality as high quality can be, if that makes any sense. And it just did not work out. I ended up spending, most of the day editing it, and I was like, holy fuck, it's still not what I want it to be, and I'm still not finished with it. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll give myself a 24-hour window to upload it. I'll upload it the next morning. Anyways, I finished it, actually, believe it or not, and I'm just not happy with it. I think it's not sustainable for me to do a extended video, and like have it be somewhat quality. So I think I'm gonna stick to what I was initially saying, where it's gonna be like a one and done here, and just hoping that it doesn't sound like shit. Anyways, with that being said, I think it's a great first, or I should say first official, topic to cover, a second video, to talk about the state of YouTube, kind of the state of YouTube as a whole. I will be gearing more towards political stuff, but I think this is important as well, because it specifically has to deal with media. YouTube has been moving in sort of a weird direction, not one anyone has ever really predicted it would go in, outside of like the Mr. Beastification of YouTube, and the terrible like rinse and repeat content and editing and stylization that he has. Not that it's bad, it's just like slop. There's not a lot of creativity behind it. And Mr. Beast himself, is kind of a shell of a human being. It's just, as I think Japan Abroad said it best, he's just there to make as much money as he possibly can. He says it's under like the guise of like being the biggest YouTube channel of all time, but guess what? What happens when you're the biggest YouTube channel of all time? You also have the most money. It's incredible. So I think that's really what he was trying to go after, and a lot of people would agree, especially considering there's not as much art behind that anymore, and a lot of people are copy and pasting. Don't get me wrong, I do look to him for some editing tips. Like his team, it's an art form. It really is. What they've been able to put together, it's incredible. And with that being said, though, there is still room for other types of content. Like, long form podcasting has been exploding, and not only that, but specifically when it comes to YouTube stuff, YouTube video essays, they're huge still. It's kind of incredible that they've made a comeback. I thought that would have died back in 2016 with the gaming Let's Plays, but commentary videos, at least well thought out ones that have some sort of written progression and story to them, do really hit well. They do well, and that's something that I'm working on my other channel. I'm not going to link it for whatever for any reason. I just want it to be two separate projects. Like, this is the low quality one. Low quality with like high output. So like just like consistent, just keeping me on my toes sort of deal. So I'm always like, have something cranking out, so not to leave people like wondering what the fuck I'm doing all the time, which can be, a little daunting. And having a video every day, man, this is going to be incredible. So yeah, today's the official start date, I should say, March 20th, 2025. God damn, gonna be done, hopefully, March 20th, 2026. That would be incredible. Now, continuing on, I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent there. The state of YouTube. Yeah, so gaming videos kind of dead on their way out. They still exist in like some sort of highly edited format, but they're not really what they used to be. If you're looking for a gaming video now, it seems to be, like a tip sort of thing, like how to get better at the game. Most people really don't care about people playing it unless it's a live stream, and that's been a long time coming. That's the meta at the moment. Now, YouTube commentary videos, those are becoming more and more popular. The only issue I think they have is like, it's like every sort of niche has, or not niche, but every sort of video subtype has like a popular topic to cover at the time. And when it's something that's in the news, or it's something that's huge on YouTube, you'll see like every single dude talk about it just to get as much traction as possible. That's something I've always hated. You'll see it, like I said, with like Mr. Beast and stuff. Those guys, it'll be like the same $100,000 video or whatever. Like, people will just blatantly copy each other and like not even innovate really. They're just doing it again, just because it works. Like, if it gets views, it works, and that's not the goal. And like, for everyone on YouTube, for a lot of people it is. For this channel, not really at all. Like I said, low quality, high output. That's not really like a high sign of success. You'll see channels that are able to pull that off pretty well. Like it's kind of nuts how I guess maybe David Dobrik's a poor example because he does one a week, but it is like really difficult to keep that ball rolling. Now, that's a whole nother can of worms. Holy moly! I'm not even gonna talk about that guy. Um, Continuing on though, yeah, I think the state of YouTube is kind of in a weird spot. It's kind of really, settled down. It's probably going to change, again, like 10 years from now. It's going to be a completely different landscape, most likely. And will Mr. Beast still be number one? Probably, honestly. He's kind of like this mega corporation at this time, and and he does something that a lot of YouTubers don't, at least the smaller ones. Like he'll pivot, he'll, innovate. Most people don't actually innovate on this platform. There's just a lot of repetition. There's some truth behind that. It's not as difficult, obviously, to not think and innovate, and it's also a risk to innovate. It's very risky. You'll never know if people are gonna like it or not. So people stick to the same shit over and over again, but that inevitably, condemns you to death. Like for Captain Sparkles, for example, like he still does Minecraft Let's Plays or Let's Plays of, other games, and his channel is stagnated. There's no growth there. And there's nothing wrong with Captain Sparkles. I think he's probably a great guy. Sounds great. I used to watch him. But when I go back to his channel now, I'm like, what's he up to? And it hasn't changed. It's the same thing with Vanoss Gaming. I mean, I don't know how much you could innovate on top of what he's already done because it's still gaming, Let's Play videos that are highly edited, but they're not gaining like nearly what they were beforehand. I don't think it could be because people are sick of him, not sick of him, but they get bored and they move on to someone else more entertaining. But I think what's really the case is that there's a lack of innovation on it, and he didn't really pivot to anywhere else. He was very content with where he was, and he was, doing very, very well. So of course in his mind he's like, why would I need to do that? But eventually, like he was probably thinking, why would I ever need to switch if I'm doing this well? I'm at like the top, like these guys, like I said, Captain Sparkles, Vanoss Gaming, these guys were the top, the Mount Rushmore of like their video subgenre or whatever you want to call it. They each, had their own niche, but a lot of people were copying them, but they were still the top dog. And they probably figured they never needed to change. But, here we are now in 2025, and they're not as big as they were. People's interests have changed. And, innovation, it kept moving forward. The ball kept moving forward. So, yeah, that's my ramble on the state of YouTube as a whole. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's necessarily good either. People call the golden age way back when you could upload anything and people would really probably enjoy it. If you had like any sort of knowledge of editing whatsoever, then people would really probably just watch it. So and they'd enjoy it. Nowadays it's, a lot more difficult. You're dealing with legitimate companies that have multiple editors on, payroll. There's a slot farm going. Trying to be better than those guys, it's very difficult. It is very difficult. If I had one piece of advice for anyone considering even starting to make any sort of YouTube videos whatsoever, whether it be daily videos or high quality videos that you're putting out once a month or even once every couple months, it would probably be to do what you want and, imitate who you like, but innovate on top of that. That's super important. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. I don't really have anything else to say. All right, I'll see you guys.